If you've got foot pain, whether that's from standing all day, running, or just walking around, I've got good news for you. In this video, you are going to learn a simple 4-step formula in how to release tension and fix the root cause of your pain. If you commonly wake up with pain at the bottom of your foot, pain at your heel, plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendonitis, tight calves, then this video is going to help you out. Okay, so what we're going to do here is two things. One, we are going to learn how to release, and two, we're going to learn how to strengthen. These two things are going to help reprogram your muscles, your nervous system, and your fascia to give you the results that you want. Most times when we have pain in the foot, it's multiple things that are causing it. So it's that you have tightness and tension, which you obviously feel. But two is your foot is the only thing that is in contact with the ground when you stand up. So these feet need to be very strong. So we need to have strength in our feet. If our foundation, which is our feet, starts to collapse this way, or you kind of do this thing, right? If you have anything in your foot that isn't really rock solid, every single step you take is going to add more stress, more tension, more pressure in places where it shouldn't be. So what we want to do in reprogramming everything is one, release the unnecessary tension, okay? Then two, we need to get a little bit of stretch in those muscles that have chronically been tight. Three, we're going to strengthen, and four, we're going to integrate. Okay, so we're gonna start off with step one. First, we're going to work on 3 minutes, and I'm just gonna show you the different spots that you can work on, but we're gonna work on 3 minutes just holding and sustaining pressure in one specific area. After that, you can move on to the next area. It's not necessary that you do all of these areas every single day, but they all need to be hit at least 3 times a week for sustainable results, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and take this lacrosse ball, which is pretty dense, but I also do use, this is a ball that has sand in it and air. So the sand is firm, but it's soft enough so that if you really have painful feet, this is a great tool, and this is great to use everywhere throughout the body. I also have this yoga block here, but this yoga block specifically is made of cork, so it's actually pretty hard, but it does have a little bit, it's hard, but it's not like a brick, right? So it does have a little bit of give, but I'm gonna use this. You could use either one of these tools. It's not gonna matter, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and take this. I'm here. I'm gonna give sustainable pressure. So I'm just pushing my foot down into this ball, okay? All I'm gonna do here is just breathe. 3 minutes. Now, notice how I am not doing this thing. I'm not rolling my foot. Rolling my foot is gonna make me miss the spot, and it's gonna be the exact opposite of what I wanna do. I want to have sustained pressure in one area for 3 minutes. If I keep rolling like this, I'm not gonna have sustained pressure, and I'm not gonna be in one area. Okay, so here I'm just holding. You find an area in your body that feels tight, okay? So here I feel at the bottom of my foot, it feels tight. Now, ideally, we would be able to put almost all of our body weight onto the leg that's on the tool. Now, this is gonna be very, very, very difficult for a lot of people because this is very painful, which means that your fascia is likely dehydrated, it's out of alignment, and your nervous system might be hyperactive in this area. That's why we take the 3 minutes to get everything to calm down and realign itself. After you feel that that spot has calmed down, maybe it's been anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, you can move on to another spot. That next spot could be somewhere in the foot, all right? It's completely up to you. If you felt that was really beneficial for you and your foot feels a little bit better, then go ahead, go for another spot in the foot. Next, what I'm gonna do is move on to the calves, right? So if you have anything in your Achilles, if you have anything in your foot, if you have anything in your calf, it's gonna be necessary to do the calf release. Now for me, when I do this one, I use a yoga block. Now you don't have to use the yoga block. Again, you could use one of these guys, you could use a foam roller, you could use a yoga block, you could use a sand ball. What I like to do is be able to give some sustained pressure, right? So again, the name of the game is just sustained pressure. So how am I gonna create that sustained pressure? One is I'm gonna do this, right? So now I have that pressure going in. I actually have this tilted so that I can get a little bit more specific. Then I'm gonna go ahead and cross this over. Now I am getting pressure in the calf area. This area for me is pretty tender, right? Historically, my calves are tight. They're not crazy tight because I've worked on them a lot, but the thing that will get tight in my lower body, definitely calves, definitely feet, right? So what I'm doing here is I'm just crossing the other leg over to give some more pressure. If you don't need the other leg, don't use it. Again, you're gonna stay 3 minutes. You can go anywhere in the calf. If we're doing any of this work, we really wanna look for the painful spots. I know, unfortunately, that's what we're doing, is we're looking for the spots that are going to hurt, okay? So that is step one, okay? So now we have officially accomplished step one. Okay, step two, right? Because step one is releasing the unnecessary tension. So I went to my foot and I went somewhere in the calf, right? So you can go ahead and repeat that as many times as you need to in order to release some of the tension. Okay, now we're going to move on to step two, which is going to be a bit of a stretch and kind of getting some of those muscles to open up, and really we're trying to get some blood flow into these muscles, because we've gotten some blood flow, we've opened up the area a bit by staying there for 3 minutes, but the next thing we need to do is ramp it up and ramp up the healing. So blood flow is always going to be good for the body, because the blood is going to carry the nutrients. Also, whenever you move your body in certain ways, it is actually going to hydrate the body, right? So we're looking to hydrate the tissue that was previously dehydrated. We just did that a little bit by having some sustained pressure, but we're gonna further do that by adding in some targeted movement, okay? So now we can start down here on the ground, right? Let me actually face this way. So we're starting here on the ground. I am going to lean back into my my heels so I can stretch out the bottom of my feet. You may notice that your toes, you may feel this a lot in your toes, and they may hurt, or the bottom of your feet, or maybe you can't even get this far back because you're starting to feel pain and stuff in the knees. If you're feeling it in the knees, this means that you need to kind of repeat that same release process on the quads. That's for another video, but if you're really feeling this one in the knees, you are going to really need to open up those quads, okay? Here we're just going back and forth. We wanna make sure that the toes are tucked underneath, and we're just doing a simple rock back and forth, okay? Try to put the pressure on there and then release. Nice and simple. It doesn't take a lot for your body to actually start feeling better and functioning better. You need consistency, and you need to actually be fixing the root of the problem. Some people will only go to a stretch, and a stretch will likely not only be will likely not be the thing that's gonna fix everything, right? We need a systematic approach, which is exactly what I'm giving you, okay? So again, we did step one, which was inhibit. So we basically inhibited those overactive muscles, right? And fascia that was dehydrated, and nervous system that was overstimulated. So that was when we gave sustained pressure for 3 minutes in those different spots. We're moving on to step two, which we just did now, which was a little bit of flexibility. Notice how I didn't hold any static stretches. Static stretching typically is not going to be that great for the body, nervous system wise, fascia wise, and muscle wise. It's just not going to be that great. It's not going to have a lot of carryover. You might feel a little bit better for about an hour or two, but then it'll go away. So that's why I kept it moving, okay? Next one, we're gonna release the calves a bit more. So I'm here, I'm gonna go both palms down. I'll turn this way, both palms down. And here, I'm just walking it out, right? Little elephant walk. I'm thinking about getting the palms, not the palms, the heels down to the ground. So this way, I am getting some stretch in there, but this is mimicking walking, right? If I just held this and stretched here, it's actually going to force water and blood out of the area that we're working on, and we actually want to keep the water and the blood in the areas that we're working on. So this is why we're not holding a stretch, we're actually pumping the area. And then from here, we'll stand it up. Now what we want to do is step 3, which is going to be basically some strength, right? So we did inhibition, so we inhibited those areas that felt a little tight. Then we stretched some of those areas out. Now we want to create some stability with some strength. Specifically for the low body, which we're gonna do right now, is toe crunches. Very easy exercise, but we want to make sure that we're actually creating a mind-muscle connection here. And honestly, when you do this one, when you get really good at it, you should actually be able to feel the connection from your foot all the way up to your glutes. So what a toe crunch is going to be is you're here and you are literally crunching your toes in almost to make an arch here, right? We want to keep the whole foot on the ground. So we don't want to curl in like this, right? I just showed you it that way so that you could actually see my foot, but it's here. I'm curling in. So literally like a crunch. You know how you crunch like this, right? Same thing for your toes. I'm crunching my toes in and I'm letting them go, all right? So we're just gonna keep that moving. We're just gonna keep that going. We're gonna go for a minute. Again, your goal is to just keep those toes, bring it in, hold, 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 release. Bring it in, hold, 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 release. Bring it in, hold, 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 release. All right, when you scrunch the toes in, we are strengthening the arch of the foot. What we're doing is we're creating ankle stiffness. The more ankle stiffness you can create, the more elastic, the more bouncy, and the less energy you have to use to move. If your ankles are really weak, what's gonna happen is they're gonna crumble under pressure. When your ankles continuously crumble under pressure, they not only affects your ankles, but if my ankle crumbles like this, my knee is gonna be affected, my hip is gonna be affected, and even it works its way up through the spine, the back, and your neck, right? So what we want to do is create that gripping and then let go so that your body starts to get better connection between all of the muscles in the lower body and even up to your core, right? So once you really get this going, like for me, I've been doing this a long time, I'm squeezing here, I actually feel my glutes working, right? Not only do I feel my feet, I feel my calves, I feel my shins, I feel a little hamstrings, and I feel a little glutes just by doing this. Once you get really good at this motion, which that's a minute, okay, once you get really good at this motion, what's gonna happen is you're gonna strengthen everything just in those fascial lines that I was talking about. So you're actually gonna strengthen the muscles in a way that's not compartmentalized. Most of the time we focus on, okay, let me work on my toe strength, then let me separately work on my calf strength, let me separately work on my glute strength, let me separately work on my hamstring strength, and then you expect them all to work synergistically when you run. But you never do something that helps everything, right? So the part in this 4-part series, so again, just to go over it, just so you're still with me, okay? We have inhibition, which we inhibited the muscles that were overactive and the fascia that was compressed and dehydrated, okay? So that was 1, where we did the sustained pressure. 2 is a little bit of flexibility, just getting those same muscles that were crunched, compressed, and tight, and the same fascia that was crunched, compressed, and tight, just to move around a little bit now that it's a little more free. 3 was strengthening the muscles in the feet, specifically for this one, because when you strengthen the muscles in the feet, you can kind of hit all those different areas. And 4 is going to be the integration of all of that stuff. So the integration of everything that we just did is we can do many exercises. 1 would be walking, running, jogging, right? That would be super simple to do, but I don't have a camera person following me, so not gonna do that one. But now what we're gonna do is we're going to mimic that, Okay, so what we're gonna do is we'll start in a staggered stance, just like this, right? And I'll turn more towards you guys. I'm in a staggered stance. So again, staggered stance looks just like this. I'm not all the way back here, right? I am, so my heel is here, my front heel is in line here, and I'm just gonna take like half a step back, okay? From there, I am now going to do a lunge, but I am going to rotate while I do the lunge. So I'm coming down and then back up to the top. Okay, nice and simple. We're gonna start there and then we're gonna progress it from there. Okay, so we're here, we're gonna do 5 reps and then we'll go up from there. Okay, so we're here, 5 reps. 1. Notice how I have a deep bend in this back knee and my toes back here, I'm on the toes. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple. Other side. 1, 2, 3. Notice if there's a difference between the two sides. 4, 5. Nice and simple. Now we're just going to ramp that up by having the front foot off the ground as well. So now the heel in the back is going to be up. Okay, so that looks just like this. My heel is off the ground on both. Now I'm gonna come down, same exact thing. If you have to reduce the range of motion, go ahead and do that, all right? We still want to be strong, so even if you have to come down just a little bit and back up to the top, that's fine. You don't have to go as deep as me, okay? So we're gonna go to 5. So I'm coming down, 1, all about stability, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple. Other side. Same deal. 1, 2. Think about gripping the ground. 3, 4, 5. There we go. Nice and simple. Okay, the last one that we're going to do here is going to add in an element of balance. Now, there's 2 ways that you could do this. 1 is going to be keeping the foot flat on the ground. 2 is going to have the heel up. Okay, so just like this, I'm here, I'm coming down, I'm reaching, but I'm also knee bending. Okay, just like that, nice and simple. We'll go to 5. You can either do that one or you can come up onto the toes and do the same exact thing. Try to grip the ground, and we're coming down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is, nice and simple. Same deal on the other side. I'm here. 1, 2, 3. Let me turn this way. Notice how I'm not just coming straight down, my hips are coming back. 4, 5. Simple. Very, very simple. But the goal here is to integrate everything. Once you get everything moving together, once you get the muscles talking to each other, once you get the fascia hydrated, once you get the nervous system talking to each other, these movements become very easy. Once these movements are easy, it's unlikely that you're going to have pain while moving because you're not just relying on one aspect or one muscle group or one line of pull. You're actually relying on your entire body to get a task done, which is really how it works. The only time when your body works compartmentally is in the gym, when you can isolate your biceps. Nowhere in other than a gym can you isolate your biceps, can you isolate your hamstrings, can you isolate your quads, your glutes, even in the gym you can't really isolate it as well as you think, but like still. There's nowhere where you are in straight isolation, right? So the idea of connecting your entire body together is what we're going for. We're actually trying to get the connections between muscles stronger so that when you move, you're not just moving from your calves, you're not just moving from your toes, you're moving from your calves, your toes, your hamstrings, your abs, your deep abs, your superficial abs, your glutes, your hamstrings, your adductors, your quads. All of those things are synergistically working and they're helping you move very efficiently. because then you're able to just bounce around like whatever you want. Like for me, right? You've been with me this entire video. I've done no other exercising or anything like that, and I can just start jumping, right? I'm jumping here, okay? Now most people will get tired and they'll start jumping less high and less high, but almost each one of those I'm going higher and higher and higher because my body is aligned. My body is aligned. Again, now my breath, a little tired. My legs, not tired. Simple, right? You get everything to work together and then it'll all work out.